What's up out there? We are going to attempt a dungeon for the second time. I just recorded one. I did not get through it. I tried doing the Lair of the Spider Queen. I got to the very end and I just couldn't do enough DPS. However, and that was going to be the video, but then as I got to looking at things, I realized that I did not have my agility set correctly to do all the best damage, get all the damage reduction, extra life. You know, there's 70 extra hit points that I've added, well, 90 extra hit points right there. A little bit more damage reduction, stuff like that. I had this set for skilling. I did not have it set for combat. I also was using cheaper arrows, or cheaper bolts, I mean, and it finished off on a magical boss. I think everything in the spider dungeon changes randomly. I don't think the combat style's set. I think it changes if memory serves. I looked it up and I saw that it was all question marks, and I think it changes the combat style of every monster you fight throughout it. So I realized my mistake. I realized that I didn't have these Jadestone bolts on, which is the best bolts that I have. I do have a little bit better bolt with these Onyx. I just don't have enough of them. So this is an actual upgrade forward. And I mean, I could crank out some more, I suppose. But I could also do, oh no, because I don't have I can't get horn beams. Anyway, let's recap real quick, and then I'm going to reattempt that dungeon. The first attempt didn't work, but I'm going to reattempt it and re-record the video. I basically didn't get the dungeon done on the first try, so we're going to try it again. I've been working, since the last video, I have been working a little bit on cooking. This is what I was working on this morning, so I'm leveled up to 104. I did fletching to 102. It's not really doing me any good because I can't do anything. There's a lot, like the corundum crossbow, I just can't do anything with it. So I mainly worked on that. What I did is I took advantage of the fact that I needed to level up fletching at some point. So I worked up some redwood longbows and then made tablets out of them. So I needed the tablets. So I figured it'd be a good opportunity. I needed these centaur tablets. So I thought, you know what? It's a good chance to just level that up, make the centaur tablets, and we're good. So I did that. And then I worked on thieving a couple days ago. I got this leveled up. There's a lot of cool stuff in here that we can get, like the necromancer drops, despair runes. I think I can make despair runes, so it's not a big deal. Like the necromancer's crown is useless. The dark knight drops, the augite sword. If I had, I need to check. That thing doesn't have damage reduction on it, does it? I may not want to use this. No, it doesn't have any damage reduction, so I can probably just sell that. I think I'll keep it. You know what? I think I'll keep it. Fighting piddly monsters, this does more damage. It might be worth it to hang on to. I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff in thieving that I'd forgotten we could get from here. Sandwiches and soul runes and stuff like that. In fact, isn't a soul rune something that I need for summoning? There's a soul rune that I need for something. I can't remember what it was. It was something in rune crafting. No, I can do soul runes. It's not, it's the other one. The soul rune looks similar to this other one. The soul rune looks close to the archaic rune. At a distance, they both have that little purple thing on there. It's the archaic rune that I need. Anyway, so I leveled up thieving up to 108. And the big one is that I worked on astrology. I got this up to 115, which gets the last two, not obstacles, the last two constellations done. So Rosania, the big one here, gives me 100 bank spaces. Doubled out, that's 100 bank spaces. I thought that was really cool. I keep forgetting this thing doubles. Then you see the numbers that pop out and you're like, man. Ashtar, you get 16% auto-eat efficiency, 16% damage to Slayer tasks, minus 10% attack interval, so everything goes faster, 10% flat Slayer negation, and target damage reduction is decreased by a flat 10%. So that one I thought was really huge. Okay, one thing that, and the other thing that I was looking at, so my magic side is actually able to use, because I've got rune crafting leveled up, I can actually create poison master gear, which gives me a lot better damage reduction, and I can equip it and everything because I have enough levels for it. I cannot do that with melee or range, so I'm really going at this at a disadvantage. And I've got everything I can. Damage reduction 4s. I've got stone skin and safeguard on here for as much damage reduction as I can. Some of these monsters were hitting for like 500-600, and the final boss was hitting for a lot. I could manually heal through the final boss just fine. I just wasn't doing enough DPS. So and my accuracy was okay. It just kept healing up. I anticipate that's what's going to happen with this fight, and I'm not going to be able to deal with it, but I'm going to try this fight again, and we'll see where we go. So let's try this fight out. We'll start this thing up. This is actually my second attempt at this, and that's just because I couldn't DPS around it. But like I said, I didn't have my agility stuff set correctly, and I wasn't using the right bolts, so I don't know. I will say that this crushing blow on this Terran Godsword is coming in clutch. Like, my accuracy's terrible, and I don't really want to change off my damage reduction potions for melee accuracy or anything like that. Plus, I should switch to slash, shouldn't I? That'll help out. I was working on attack skill on that. That's actually why my accuracy sucked, so maybe it's going to be better. But that crushing blow just pops in and blasts these things. It's been great. On the flip side, when I switch to magic, I've got all this poison stuff on here that gives me great damage reduction, which I could theoretically try and equip that on my other two gear sets and see if that helps out. It gives me a lot more damage reduction because this is 9% versus what, 6 or 7 off of the other gear, off of the God gear. We switch over to here. Yeah, this is 8. Oh, it's just an extra 1%, but it's a little bit extra. I don't know. Anyway, I will kill all the trash mobs off and bring you back at the final boss. All right, I'm going to bring you back a little bit before the final boss here. These are going to go fairly quick. This does seem to be going a lot better now that I've got my agility obstacles set correctly and a few things ironed out. Let's just say that. I don't know what the final spider is going to be. Maybe it won't be ranged this time. Hopefully it's melee. Then I can just run magic over it. But in the case that it is magic and I have to use ranged against it, yeah, oh, nice. What do we got for damage? 637? All right. So we should outpace this thing. We'll catch it on fire. Yeah, this will be way easier to finish off. It's going to heal up a little bit, but this is going to be much, much easier because we can light it on fire, stun it, burn it down. Oh, I'm not even auto or manually healing. I totally missed that. But yeah, this is going to be way easier to blast this thing. So this dungeon is wild because every enemy that you get is a different combat style. There's no set combat style to this whole thing. You don't know what you're going to fight next, and the final boss can be whatever combat style. The previous time I did this, it was magic, and now it was magic. So I needed to use ranged against it, and now it's melee, so I can use magic against it. The downside is this thing heals, so like it's already half healed back up. And I try to do as much damage reduction. Oh my God, it's already healing back up again. It is fully healed. Jesus. Okay. While we're doing that, I'm going to switch over to... Let's see, we're going to switch to Incinerate. That does not miss. And every time it hits, it's going to light this thing on fire. Hopefully we can just kill this thing off. This fight sucks. This is one of the worst fights to deal with because this thing you saw it just heal all the way back up from scratch. And there's nothing you can do about it. Aside from just catch it on fire, poison it, do whatever you can to burn it to the ground. I don't know if I'm playing with the auto eat fire there or not. See, it's healing back up again. Get it stunned, get it burning down. This is going to be a lot longer fight than I anticipated. But between the dragon synergy, dragon tablet synergy, and the... Oh, man, this is going to be a long fight. Because it does just keep healing right back up. I think Fatal Bite goes off once. We might be okay between the auto eat, the life leech. I might be able to just let this go and not have to hold down heal. Because I don't think Fatal Bite goes more than once. It inflicts a poison. Now, if I catch that fast enough. It's asleep, so it's not going to heal. It's stunned now. Cool. Keep going. Burn it down. This is much easier than, come on, finish it off. Get it done. Oh, there we go. All right. Nice. Okay. That was perfect. That fight takes forever, and I'm glad it did not end up with ranged. I guess you could keep doing that until you could get the magical combat style. I remember when I did Throne of the Herald before. I've played through Throne of the Herald, I think, 3 times now, because I did it on adventure mode, I did it on standard, and I did it on hardcore. But I've done those so long ago, and they were kind of spread out. Even then, I just don't remember it all. Okay, I'm going to go with crafting on this one. I have my list of stuff that I would like. I would like the rings and stuff you get from here. I probably should take thieving and get some of the things that you can steal from that, but I'm going to go and base this on the fact that I'm going to get wood cutting, so I'm going to take crafting and get forward on that. Fishing, we're going to take fishing. Herb lore or prayer, I think we'll take prayer. Crafting or farming, I'm definitely taking farming because I need the herbs, and we're definitely taking wood cutting. And then I'm going to take summoning, because summoning I can work with over time. So that gets us through another dungeon. Like I said, I tried recording that once before, and I just could not get through it. And I can also make some tablets now that I've got those things. So I tried that dungeon once. It got to the very end. If it would have came down to the boss being magical at the end, I did swap my prayers out to rigor and avidity, thinking that I would try to get as much DPS on target as possible, manually heal through the whole thing, and not worry about damage reduction as much. I left the poison virulence ring on. I was trying to get enough damage reduction in place that I didn't have to worry about healing through it, so I could swap different items out and see what could do the more damage to it. But because that's such a random dungeon, I ended up with a melee boss, so I was able to just burn it down with fire. Kill it with fire. Worked perfectly. So the next dungeon is going to be the Cursed Forest. I know that one's going to be a tough dungeon. This is going to be brutal. So I'm going to get these up to 112. Now, I did not get mining. That sucks. I didn't get mining, but I did get wood cutting. So the first thing I'm going to do is work on wood cutting. That is the absolute first thing. That might not seem like the best idea, but that is what I am going to do at the moment. We're going to get this going. We're going to equip everything I can, and I'm going to get wood cutting going. I want to level this up. I want to get my gear. I want to get my crafting stuff. I'll be able to go to 108 crafting, which I should be able to get into the elder gear. That gets us down into the revenant gear. It also gets me some rings and stuff. The rings are going to be useful. You're going to be able to get a ring that does triple damage against other combat styles and stuff like that. That's going to be awesome. So I should be able to get into Elderwood. I think we can get down to Linden, which Linden is also huge because I needed Linden to get into this Slayer area, didn't I? Let's move some stuff around. I think Linden is something I needed for my Slayer. Yes. So I'll be able to unlock that and get into the Foggy Lake Slayer area. So that's massive. That will be very, very helpful. So anyway, I've recorded this video twice. The first time I tried the dungeon and I couldn't get through it, realized my mistakes, fixed all that, and now we're through. So I am going to work on wood cutting for the foreseeable future, try to get my ranged stuff upgraded, and then I'm going to work on combat areas. I will not be attempting this dungeon soon, this next dungeon. I'm going to get all my combat styles leveled up. I got to click on the right button first. I'm going to get all my combat stuff leveled up as far as I possibly can before I attempt this Cursed Forest. And I'm going to try to go into Slayer areas. I might try to get the underwater ruins, weapons out. But like these Slayer areas, I'll be able to go into, we can actually go all the way up to the Afflicted City, which I don't remember what the Afflicted City drops, if there's anything good there. Maybe some potions we can get out of there. This place is pretty tough. Gauntlets of Rage are pretty nice. But I don't know, Frost Shield, we can't get the spark thing for it, but some of this stuff will be good to get. I'll be able to get into some of this stuff. I'm going to probably spend some time doing Slayer areas and stuff like that, gathering gear before we do this next dungeon. I know the next dungeon's hard. The other thing I'm trying to work against is I'd like to be as far through this as possible, because in about, well, less than 1 month, I think it is on June 13th, the Abyss expansion hits. From what I've read in the patch notes, or in the announcement for it, it is going to play into this. As long as you've beaten Bane from the base game, you'll be able to go into the Abyss expansion. There are going to be some things that can be used out here, but for the most part, the Abyss expansion is the Abyss expansion. So I would like to try and get through as much of this one before we get the Abyss as possible. But the Abyss will work in Relic mode, and we'll be able to use it. I think they've got some other stuff coming with it. I don't know. We'll find out when it all gets here. But anyway, that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.